Hello, everybody. My name is Master Chen.
This is Zenify.
I'm Lex.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
And you are either watching or listening to episode 203 of Greynoise, the podcast where we got to explain this Pi Day thing. Let's get into that in just a second. We are here at the Sin Shop. It's double Pi Day. We'll get to that. We are here at the Sin Shop. You just open it. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We are still the Las Vegas Valley Hackerspace. Go to sinshop.org for more information on the shop and what we do here. Go to meetup.com/sinshop for the classes and the things that we teach. We have lockpick coming up. We have 3D printing pretty much every Monday, I believe. And the board meeting is next Saturday. Not next Saturday, just next Saturday. So if you're a board member or if you're a member of the shop, come on down and find out what we're voting on. Yeah.
If you're a board member, be aware that there's a board meeting.
Yes. Yeah, please be there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And for information on us as a podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. And I've got good news. We just renewed that domain. We're still not talking shit about Sweden, so we could at least keep it for another year.
Hooray.
Anyway, what do you guys have going on?
I got a new phone.
Yes.
It's a nice phone. I love it.
Yes, we definitely want to talk about that, and we want to spend some time on that one because that's the phone that I want to get. But we'll get there.
Is that the one? Does that one also have the fingerprint in the glass, or? No?
I think it has, but I turned it off.
Yeah.
You turned it off? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. What's going on with you?
Oh, exciting things in the world of my corporate overlords. And as usual, totally can't talk about it.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about it? No. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, then we could go back into Lex's new phone because I am interested in that, and it's going to lead into this other technology that we're talking about. So, what phone did you get, Lex?
The OnePlus 7 Pro.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I almost bought it earlier this week, but at the T-Mobile store, by the way, I mean at the carrier, the nondescript carrier that I have, I went to their store.
Which is T-Mobile, right?
Okay. I went to their store, and the only model that they had, it was like the 8 gigs of RAM, and it had it was a low level, it wasn't the upgraded version, right? So do you know what your specs are on that phone?
So they have 6, 8, and 12.
Yep.
And I have the 8 RAM.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to get as much as I can. So the 12 gigs of RAM and all these other things. Now you said, and wait, did we say this off the air or just on the air now about the fingerprint scanner? We just said that, right?
said it.
Yeah.
So you don't have that enabled, but this phone also has the touch through the glass, right? And I believe Doxy, who's by the way not here because he hates us, but Doxy has the 6, right? He had the OnePlus 6.
Yeah.
Because that also had the read through the glass.
And he uses it because whenever he sets it right here, like
like-
Lex does, I'm constantly like pressing it.
Do you lock him out?
Huh?
Do you lock him
I
out
don't
of
think
this?
it's actually locked it out yet. I just like I hold it because it just has like a symbol, like not like some like a animation that like goes around your
It
fingerprint
swirls
when you do
around
it. Yeah,
your
like
finger.
swirls.
It's wheels.
It's wheels.
It's just like a green and blue, like a
It's fancy.
yeah. It's just fun. So I just like fuck with it all day.
So, what do you think about the popping up selfie camera? Because that's something that was interesting to me. Like, what is it clunky? Is it? Does
So
it make sense?
it works just fine. I think Doxy is the first person who talked to me about this phone, and when he showed me the video, I was like, "No way, I'm getting this. Like, this is just like another point of failure. It's just gonna break. I'm gonna break it." And then you have it, and you're like, it's doing the job. It's working fine.
The
So if I
pop-up
want to take a selfie,
selfie camera.
Make it do the thing.
Oh, there we go. Technology live,
that's
guys.
kinda cool.
Ooh,
That's coming up from the top of the phone there.
technology
Ooh,
live.
technology live. There we go.
I
Ooh.
wonder what their lifespan test on that was. Like how many?
I don't know.
Well, I heard though that I guess the phone detects when it's falling at a
Yes,
rapid rate,
yes.
so then it'll just
No.
That's right. So supposedly that camera's supposed to tuck back in like a turtle. When
Yeah.
It, okay.
Yeah. It feels the acceleration and just.
Nice analogy, Chen.
Like a turtle, right?
How many times have you thrown a turtle?
No, I've had
I'm
to.
calling
When they're
somebody.
when they're afraid, when the phone is afraid of falling, it'll shrink back in its shell like a
I
turtle.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are your now? How long have you had the phone?
Since last night.
Oh, last night. So
Yeah.
have you had a real chance to play with it, mess with it? What are your
Did
thoughts
you
on
like
it?
get any work done today, or were you just on it all day? Just like
I had plans at the sushi, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna be late. I'm sorry. And then I just played with my
Yeah.
phone for like an hour.
Okay, so what phone did you come from? Like,
I had a Nexus 5X.
okay. Oh, you
Okay,
had that
wow.
phone.
I'm pretty
Wow.
late to the party, but
that was,
Hey,
was
that's
that
okay. That's a
still
good upgrade.
Huawei
but it
or?
was a good.
No, yeah, Huawei. No.
no,
No,
it was LG.
LG.
It
It was
was
LG.
LG.
LG
Yeah.
did the 5X and Huawei did the 6P.
Yeah.
So, okay, so big improvement, I'm sure.
Yes.
Alright.
The only thing is, and I can see the joke coming, but it's too big for my hand, so I need 2 hands if I want to text, or it falls if I
You
just.
do it like sideways.
just
or
too
anything,
big.
Do it like full keyboard size. With, yeah. All right.
That's the only thing.
Okay, but other than that, you have like no hangups on the phone. Like it's cool and
It's really cool.
That looks really nice.
It looks
Yeah.
really nice.
It has like
Yeah.
the screen that kind of bevels around.
curved.
Because I have 2 phones. I have my LG V20 and my Note 9, and I really like my Note 9. So I think I might end up bailing on my LG V20 and just holding just one phone.
So that's your work phone though, right?
Yeah, it's my work phone, but
But you use it for like personal use. They don't care.
I don't use it for personal use now, but I will because it's in my possession until I am no longer at this company. So
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I'm just wondering, why do you need the phone that has like 12 RAMs?
Because
What are you
he's just,
doing with
like-
your phone?
I want to do everything.
he's doing Bitcoin mining on his
Yeah,
phone.
I'm doing Bitcoin
Yeah.
mining on my phone.
I don't see why anyone would need 12 RAM.
I would,
Yeah, right?
I wouldn't pay that much.
Dude, it's a $600 phone.
So here's the thing. No, let me.
700.
okay.
So
700.
for this size phone, for the size it is, I wouldn't get it at 12. Because with 12, I'm expecting a bigger screen, a lot more power. I want to be able to VM and terminal into shit and just
Word.
have that. But for that size of a phone, I mean, I'm only going to go with maybe 8.
I mean, okay, I have the Note 8, and I was surprised to find out that this had 8 gigs of RAM. I wasn't
have
even
the Note
looking for
8?
that. Yeah, it's the Note 8.
That wasn't the one that was, on planes, right?
Exploding?
No, that was the Note 7. I don't have the Note 7.
Okay.
So far, this hasn't exploded. Sorry, Samsung. You're not a sponsor, so I don't give a shit.
You're not sponsored, so fuck you. Maybe
Yeah,
eventually one
pretty-
day
pretty
until you
much.
see this.
Yeah, let's just have another apocalypse and just take back all of our YouTube ads. Okay, so will that work when you go back to your hometown? Or?
Yeah, so that was the thing. So I wanted to get the Pixel 3a while I was in the US, but the thing is it doesn't work if you move into other parts of the world because of service or like bandwidth, something like that.
Yeah,
so I was
it's
like, fuck it.
different,
Yeah. And
believe
OnePlus doesn't do that.
I can't remember the exact technologies, but like here, of course, in the U.S., we have CDMA and GSM. GSM is a global thing; it's a global band, but the frequencies are different. Right? So you would have like, do they still use 900 megahertz? And I don't know. I would have to get fact check on that, but
You could do it.
oh, he's too lazy. He's too lazy to get. Oh no,
Here he comes.
okay, we got fact check from Community Mike. So, go ahead. I was gonna
It's not
say.
necessarily a fact check. It's just that the Pixel uses the Google Fi lock-in.
Oh, right.
So it depends on like where you're going. You have to get it for that specific purpose, and it's like really popular in high dense areas like L.A., Silicon Valley, or Boston, New York. So it's really easy for like the new Pixel products to work in those areas, but in other areas it might not.
So you don't have to get Google Fi for the Pixel.
You don't have to,
No, right.
but it's still, not native. Does that make sense?
No, I use the previously unnamed carrier, and I have a Pixel, and everything's
Yeah.
groovy.
I have
Have
like
you tried
different
traveling
carrier.
outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, actually, well, but not with this specific phone, but with my older. Was it a Pixel? It was probably the Nexus 5 is what I had when I was in Belgium.
And it worked?
It did.
You had like 4G? I mean, back in the day, it wasn't 4G probably?
Was it 4G back on the 5? On the 5?
Probably, yeah.
I can't remember if it was or not. Or was it 4G LTE or just 4G whatever it was?
I had
HS
service.
You had service,
It wasn't
okay.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
but-
had service.
Okay. So yeah, I've been really debating on getting that phone, but I think you're selling me here because I mean, this is ready to go.
You can't do that. You buy everything you buy is after what I've already purchased.
So I'm supposed to get a Note 9 because you have the Note 9.
Well, no, actually, my boss bought
One
it.
more- one more thing.
His own version, so you have to wait until I buy a new phone, and then you could buy. A new
Well, when are you gonna buy a new phone though? Because like I'm ready.
Just grow up, man.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
buy
know,
your own
man.
things.
By the way, your phone, your LG V20, that still hasn't experienced burn-in because that's what got me to move.
No, McNutt put a mod on it or something that fixed that.
Oh shit! God, fucking Q branch over here. Community Mike again.
Apple is coming out with a smaller phone,
A smaller phone?
smaller iPhone.
Are they gonna call it the iPhone?
I have no idea, but it's
lowercase?
supposed to be like
are
the
they doing
iPhone.
What, like, are they doing? So what was? What
No,
was
it's like
that,
the iPhone
Extra
SX
small.
or SE.
iPhone
It was like the
extra
SE,
small.
and then
what was
it's like
the-
something
It
smaller.
was like the meme or whatever. It was like the phones used to be this big, and then they got all the way small. iPhone was like super small than iPhone, and like Samsung started going on the big train.
Yeah.
And now they're receding again.
Because nobody can hold the phone in their hand when it's like a 7-inch,
I know,
8-inch
that-
screen.
That's why I need like the pop socket. So like when I'm in bed,
Yeah,
I don't like.
because you gotta put it through your fingers, and yeah, exactly. You gotta let it suspend without having to put your thumb or your pinky under there. And
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
It's just trends. I mean, eventually the flip phone will come back.
You think
Oh
so?
yeah,
Well,
it's already. Well, no, it's already.
Yeah, Motorola. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
they've
coming
got
back
new.
with a smartphone flip phone, and it looks really awesome.
It does.
all these young kids are gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" It's a flip phone.
Dude, the
son.
second a slider comes out, oh my god, I'm just.
Oh, but dude, I love the sliders. I really miss a hardware keyboard. And I know.
I kind of miss the hardware keyboard. Like I was all like BlackBerry, like before like smartphones. It was like I went like in my generation, not my generation, but like my
In my generation.
It begins.
Hold on.
Back in my day.
I didn't finish. My generations of phones, it went like Nokia to just like the small flip phones to like the Razors, and I had Razors for several years. And then Razor was like my last like phone that wasn't a smartphone because then I went BlackBerry, iPhone, fuck iPhone, Samsung, and then Nexus. And I never got the Sidekick, but like I would always remember like people in like high school like, can I see your Sidekick really quick? And
And you just do that.
just like flip.
Yep.
The Sidekick was the DJ phone. I remember. Like a lot of the DJs that I knew, they had the Sidekick because like while they're turning, they can like just flip it open, flip it closed. Like
Yeah.
it was really quick, really. And I think maybe they just like that. The way that it came out, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it swiveled, right?
Yeah.
So interesting.
That's cool.
Anyway,
Was
any-
the Sidekick touchscreen? Did it have a
No.
touchscreen?
Well-
on the front, or-
yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
it was.
okay.
There was a later iteration, and I think the Sidekick 3 had an Android variant, but I can't. verify
Yeah,
that.
the very beginning it did. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
They kind of tried to keep it alive, I think, because Android was beating the crap out of it. so,
Yeah.
Yeah. I skipped over the Sidekick. I was gonna get a Sidekick, and then I got the G1, the original
Oh, yeah.
OG Android phone.
Yeah, I got that Android
Had
phone.
the
too.
G1, G2, and then Nexus and Pixel all the way down, with the exception of a Motorola Click, and I don't like to talk about that shit.
I broke that phone in half.
It was some bullshit. It needed to be broken in half.
and it wasn't even because of the phone. I was talking to somebody on the phone. I got mad. I was like, fuck this. And you couldn't like hang up by closing it because it's not a flip phone in like, a casual sense. So I was like, fuck this. And I threw it on the ground and went, and I was like, nah, par for the course.
You did the right thing for the wrong reason.
Well, I did the right thing for the right reason, but okay.
Okay.
Anyway, any more thoughts on the phone? Doxy's not here to help review the phone, so let's revel in this moment. I'm just roasting him because he's not here.
I always like to bring up with Doxy his Sony phone experience.
Oh yeah, so
I remember mine when I was with Singular Wireless. They were bought up by AT&T like 15 years ago. The last phone I ever bought with Singular was a Sony. It started with an E. Sony Ericsson.
Sony Ericsson. Yeah.
I can't remember, dude. That's why we got you here. Thanks. And that thing had the worst service in the world, and it was discovered that they didn't build it right with the antenna, so whenever you held it up to your ears, you were basically covering the phone the whole time, just the signal the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like,
dumb.
my dad thought I was crazy, and he's just like, you just don't like the phone. He's like, you just want me to buy you a new phone. I'm like, no, I seriously, like, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Here,
it's
you
like,
use
it's not
it.
me ignoring you.
Right.
And then we went back and traded that shit in, and then I think we went to Sprint like right afterwards.
Ah,
Yeah.
my condolences.
I think
The Sprint thing was like he wanted to go to Sprint because he really liked the walkie-talkie feature on it.
Oh yeah, the Nextel stuff.
Yeah, so like he bought those for like me and my sister, and it was just randomly like, hey there,
like in the middle of whatever,
Just
right?
whatever.
Oh, I hate that shit.
I learned
not cool.
He did that. He did that to me for the longest time. He'd just like interrupt with it on, and I'd be like, I was getting so annoyed, but I knew I could do it right back to him.
Yeah.
And he tried to set up ground rules of don't do this until like after 5 p.m. because I'm at work and I don't know what setting I'd be in. I was like, hey dad, hey dad, and just like at like 2:30 p.m. right when I get home from school, and he just like do not disturb on and like.
But that's the thing, though. What's more annoying than hearing one side of the conversation? Hearing both sides of the conversation. Like, let's say if you're on a bus or in a public, like
That's what I find. And so I've there's a podcast I listen to, and they have Apple Watches, and I guess this is a feature on Apple Watches.
Oh, you can talk through the watch.
Yeah,
now.
there's a walkie-talkie feature like native, and so they say that they use it when they're in grocery stores and they like split up and they're like, oh, like did you get these? Did you get that? And it's like you're somebody's just in the aisle and they're just like, did you get the soda yet? And it's like, all right, guys, calm down.
I'm approaching the target now.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's some obsessive Dick Tracy shit.
I get why people would think it's a good idea, and if you don't give a shit about anyone else, then yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
And that's the problem.
yeah,
Is that people don't give a shit about anyone else.
oh yeah.
It's like whoever put speaker phones on phones, I would really love to just go back in time and just punch them
Yeah.
in the ding dong.
I have like strict like no talking rules, like pretty much in. I mean, like, it's counter argument to like right now, but in most public settings, I don't talk. Like elevators, hell no.
Right.
Like just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I do the obligatory joke in the elevator though.
The
like,
joking?
No, the joke in the elevator.
Oh, okay.
Like I walk in, everybody's quiet to break the silence. I'm just like, and like I get a couple of chuckles. I'm done. Anyway.
This is genius.
Yeah. It's just,
I thought you were gonna say you walk in and go.
no, I don't do that.
I know you wonder why I gathered.
We can't hear you, dude. I'm sorry.
That is one of my favorites, actually. You may be wondering why I've gathered you all here today.
Oh, I gotta try that. I'll try it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Has anyone seen my snake?
All right, I feel like I have to tell a story because last week
Go ahead.
when I was in St. Louis, it's an elevator story. I told my girlfriend and my dad this story when we were in an elevator, but when I was younger, it was just a story about, it was like my friends and they were in an elevator and one of them leaned over to the other friend after 2 other people got on the elevator and goes, you know what, I think my mom might have avian flu, and then he just started like hat coughing, and so the people couldn't get off the elevator quick enough. my dad ended up really wanting to like do that with me. We went to the Cardinals game. I was in St. Louis last week, and so we were in the elevator from the parking garage, and I'm sitting in the back of the elevator. I'm just like minding my own business, and my dad just starts cracking up, just like starts laughing hysterically, and I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And then my sister starts laughing because my sister was there. I was like, what is? I'm like looking around, like I didn't know. And we got at the elevator. He told me, he's like, I really wanted to do that joke with you, but I just couldn't stop laughing because I was like, he already hit the punchline in his head.
Right.
And I'm just like, if you would have warned me, like I would have done it. Like I
Yeah.
could have kept a straight face, but. Regardless, he was still in the elevator. The second I started any words, he would have started laughing.
He would
it
just
would have
start-
been blown.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
But yeah, so that was just a random little story that happened.
No, that's cool.
All
I
right, guys.
don't think I have any elevator shenanigans.
No, I think so. Like a couple of years, they had a talk on elevator hacking, and I think we had somebody in the audience who went there, and it was pretty boring. I think. Lame. Yeah, it was lame.
No.
Her words, not mine.
Lame.
You know what they say about elevator hacking? It has its ups and downs.
Okay, see, right on schedule.
I'm here to help.
So let's talk about now the Raspberry Pi 4, which, if you don't know,
It looks really good.
yes, and for those of you who don't know, the Raspberry Pi computer is a computer the size of a credit card, and it's usually only $35. Now, this Raspberry Pi 4 comes in two variants. You
Three
have
variants.
Three variants.
Yep.
So what, like 1 gig, 2 gigs, 4 gigs? Or?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, perfect. I guessed. All right. So we have it's 1 gig of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM, and 4 gigs of RAM. The 4 gigs of RAM, I believe, are $55.
It's $39, $49, $59.
$39,
Or no,
$49.
it's $35, $49, $59.
Okay, there you go. So perfect.
What?
The
No,
price.
I'm playing.
No, but I mean, it has two HDMI ports. It has
Two HDMI mini ports.
mini ports, right? It has two
Fucking
USB.
tell the audience the
2s.
correct specs.
My
We have
bad.
the board. We have it back there.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we? Somebody already buy one?
No, you know that.
No, someone
Oh.
made one with cardboard. Yeah, just like a model replica. It's kind of cool.
So yeah, HDMI minis and
And then it has 2 ports for HDMI, for USB 2 and 2 ports for USB 3.
it has USB-C and
Yeah,
it has a
USB
gigabit Ethernet
Gigabit
connection.
Ethernet. Yeah. Yes. Thank
Come
you.
on, fucking
I'm
Chen.
working.
Jesus, man.
But okay, with everything that
fucking guy.
Zenify just helped to describe, the damn thing's only $55. This is definitely a steal. $59. It's still definitely a
And
steal.
95 cents.
Yes, sure. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a $60 computer
I'm totally gonna buy it. I mean, right now my home assistant for like a lot of my home automation runs on a Pi 3B Plus, and it's really nice. It does a lot of does well. However,
is it lagging already?
it only lags when I try and integrate like 4 of my security cameras into it and try and put it on a dashboard, like on the Home Assistant dashboard. It's not meant for video encoding like that, so it's trying to ingest 4 streams and then play it back to me in real time. So it has hiccups there. So I'm really hoping that this new Pi 4 will resolve those issues. Plus, I would kind of like to attach 3.0 storage to it. And obviously, I really like the gigabit Ethernet connection because that means I'll be able to do like ping tests and network scans from my Home Assistant to send me notifications and warnings if something's happening. And just the gigabit Ethernet connection will give me a more accurate, bandwidth and throughput.
It doesn't have any
Logs.
sort of GPU on it, does it? Or does it?
No.
No, okay.
Does it?
Oh, it does. Okay, cool.
Is it
We
the
got that
4
checked.
that now has that, or did they have it before?
The
Yeah.
new one. The 4 has a GPU, so even better.
Yeah, it should help.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that would help with your.
Yeah. I mean, I eventually want to put it on like something more powerful, like those Intel. What are they? The Cube. What are they? The
Nooks.
Yeah, the Nooks. I eventually want to put my Home Assistant on one of the Intel Nooks, just because I want like more like identification and like playback with like my cameras and security system and stuff. We'll see if that ever happens.
All right. Nice. I'm definitely gonna get it now.
Yeah. What are you gonna use it for?
Well, okay. So that's the question that I want to ask you is. All of the old equipment that I have is working fine, like all the Raspberry Pis and everything. I have a Pi Hole, Pi VPN, like I have all these projects, right? Do I? What are your thoughts on like me upgrading the hardware or just doing new projects with it?
I would do new. I mean, if all your stuff's working, I would do newer projects with it, unless you have something specifically that obviously is lacking. What I would suggest if you're looking for a new project is go to like GitHub and like how there's all those awesome lists. Go to awesome self-hosted, and there's just like a plethora of different things you could self-host just in your network for whatever project reason you have. Like right now, I'm looking into one called Grocery or something like that. It's like a inventory management, like a restaurant style inventory management for like your kitchen. And so because I have people I have like others besides me in my house, I have like a tablet downstairs in my kitchen now. And so like whenever we run out of something, I would like to get the people to say, hey, we're out of that. And then I could check it. And so when I go order all my stuff on like, groceryorderingonline.com or whatever,
Right.
I know what we don't have instead of going, okay, I don't think anybody used this in the house. I'm going to use that later for whatever I'm cooking. I get home and it's gone. I'm like, fuck.
I believe I have about 3 things of Parmesan cheese right now.
Do you?
Yeah. Just
You know what
because of
I-
exactly that.
Doxy wants to come over for dinner.
There's like just speaking of Parmesan cheese, there's like just like, Parmesan like crisps,
Yeah.
like just like, chip crisps. So I really like buying those because
Yeah.
they're fucking delicious, but they're really expensive.
Oh.
So now I just buy a huge block of Parmesan cheese and I just grate it myself and then I make it in the oven myself.
Does it come out same quality?
Yep.
Oh shit.
I literally just did this on Wednesday night and I was so fucking happy after I took the first bite because it tastes exactly like the ones I used to buy at Whole Foods. Not a sponsor.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, Parmesan cheese crisps?
Yeah.
So imagine taking Parmesan cheese,
Yeah.
put it in the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes. That's
Yeah.
it. It makes it a chip-like. So it's not like cheese.
So you cut it in slices and you put it in the
You
I
oven?
grate it
grate
or
it, I
yeah,
think.
like shave it, grate it, and you just like get like spoonfuls, just like a spoonful, and then just
Oh.
like like little plots on
Okay.
just in on a baking sheet or like a silicone pad, whatever.
Okay.
And then put it in the oven for 3 to 4 minutes until it is your desired crispness.
And you basically
And,
have a
uh,
cheese chip.
Yeah, it's a cheese chip. And
really
so
like
I just did. So what I did, like I didn't do the little plots. I just did one whole thing, and then I just cracked it up.
One whole big Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, so I just like took it and I was just like cracking it all around.
That's
and
a
then-
hacker.
And then I just put it in the bag and I took it to work.
Technically a cracker.
Well,
In the form of cracking the Parmesan cheese.
Okay, I was gonna say, okay.
No.
I was gonna say like the crackers come later, but I got you. I got where you're going.
Yeah. So it's really good.
Okay. Awesome.
But yeah, I would not use the Parmesan cheese that Satchel was talking about, the ones in the cans.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be
no,
shaking
you'd have to
the-
grab the block.
Yeah,
right?
you
The
could
block.
grab
Right.
the block, or you could just like go get
What are we talking?
already grated.
Suddenly this is a
the
cooking
self-hosted
show.
stuff.
the grocery getter, the self-hosted stuff.
Yes.
What? Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on the pie hole, or on the pie, the Raspberry Pi 4.
Too late.
But what other projects did you see there?
I have an entire to-do list of projects I want to do.
Okay, well, fair. Share that with me later,
Yeah.
please.
I mean, like one of them is like, you could host your own like Instagram type of reporting feed. So you could go, I want to follow all these channels, and you're not actually following them to watch what they're posting. It's more of their frequency of posting, how many followers are they following. It's just like a statistical like page. And so I wanted to set that up for the podcast to more analytically follow our, stuff. So that's another self-hosting idea.
Well-
I self-host Plex, all that stuff in my network.
Yeah, multimedia.
But I don't get, why do you need to look at me like that? I feel so bad now. Why do you need a Raspberry Pi for that? Can you just do it from your laptop?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it on my laptop because I take that places, and so when I want to remote or VPN into my network at home, I always want it constantly. I want a dedicated machine, and so like I have other machines in my network, like huge NAS systems or whatever, where I could host VMs on and effectively do the same thing. I just think it's really cool to get a whole bunch of Raspberry Pis and build a stack, and just know that each one of them are doing a certain bullshit.
Okay, that's cute.
Yeah, they're all like dedicated machines, right?
Yeah. So I 3D printed I posted pictures of it a long time ago. It's like the 1U rack mount, and so I put 3 Raspberry Pis in it and LCD screen on the left side, and so it's just a 1U in my rack, so a network rack. There's one little slot of it is just 3 Raspberry Pis. They have reset switches.
It's really legit.
Yeah.
It's
great.
really.
So, all right. Now let's get on to a little bit of serious news here. So I don't know if now the app is no longer available, but I'd still like to talk about it because we're a show that happens once a week. So everything that happens in that week, kind of you have to take it as you go.
That's usually how weekly podcasts go.
Yes, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like
He read the article and he's not reading another, so we're doing the story.
No, we can talk about the other.
No, I'm playing,
we
I'm
can talk
playing.
about the other.
No, go ahead.
So, I don't even know what the name of the app is though. But, so, any woman with a single click. Oh, hold on. Let me start from the top. This horrifying app undresses a photo of any woman with a single click. So,
Is it only women?
no, it's
Yeah.
actually it is and it isn't. So you can technically make a guy naked, but it's going to add the parts. to
Lady
you.
bits.
The lady bits to
Oh.
you. So it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
We have,
okay, so
From-
let me. Oh, yeah, go ahead. So I don't assume anything. Go ahead, community Mike.
All right, so I found out about this from DeFranco, and I'm the one who shared the link. Essentially, the way it works, the author's been pretty open about like how he's developed this and stuff, and essentially, it can do males, but it does add female parts because he trained it using a machine learning algorithm, which apparently is very similar to the one Tesla uses.
and he was like, I'm not looking at knobs all day.
I mean, it could be that, but he stated it was mainly just because it was easier to find naked female pictures online.
That makes a lot.
Yeah,
of
that
sense.
Because the
That's
biggest
a lot
thing
of
is this isn't just like, he needs a couple. He can maybe, ask a couple girls, pay a couple cam girls, etc. He needs like large amounts.
Yeah, I
Due to
can
the fact
imagine.
that the whole point of this is so that, terabytes. The whole point of this is that any female it can be used on. And
That's
so
pretty
essentially,
fucked up.
like, because of that, I don't know, I guess it's harder to find male pictures.
No pun intended.
I mean, if you're looking in the right places, you could find them.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
I would, so I
He's
don't
just
know
not
if it's
going
ever talked
right
about, but I always thought it was assumed that it was a male creator, and there is a chance he's just a heterosexual male who naturally just found it easier to work with that.
Yeah. I
Does
mean,
he like looking at
it
it?
makes sense. I guess.
So yeah, and he did say he eventually wanted to add male, but apparently
He was probably going to hire a different engineer to do that.
Probably. Apparently,
I'm not looking at knobs
whatever
all day.
small
Yeah.
team he supposedly was working with has like taken it down now.
Was he actually working with a team?
He said he was, and like if you went to their website at one point, it stated. Once again, I got all this from DeFranco, so fact check this as much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can post that
the
video.
website stated that it was down because him and his team were hit by so much more traffic than they expected. Because
Yeah.
who would think that kind of app would get any kind of following? So he's always talked about being on team, but it's only, as far as we know, it's only been one person who's been contacted and reached out and talked. So it could just be a solo project.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe, and I know they said that apparently when he originally started, he was asked about the ethics, and he said, someone's going to make this, so why not me? That old argument that everyone makes about everything that they
Yeah.
probably understand they shouldn't do, but why not?
Yeah.
But apparently since then, he is now taking it down, so there's a chance that, like, there
Well,
wasn't
so-
any team to begin with because it was only one person. He just couldn't
Yeah.
handle it anymore.
So he did make a statement that said, we don't want
Thanks.
to make money this way. The statement said, surely some copies of Deep Nude will be shared on the web, but we don't want to be the ones to sell it. He claimed he's just a technology enthusiast motivated by curiosity and a desire to learn. This is the same refrain the maker of the deep fakes gave Motherboard in December of 2017. He was just a programmer with an interest in machine learning and naked women. But the subsequent rise of fake revenge porn created using deepfakes illustrated tinkering using women's bodies is a damaging, sometimes life-destroying venture for the victims of enthusiasts. So, like, it seems to me that all that this is doing is swapping the most likely parts that fit that body type.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, so you're not really looking at the actual person's naked body, but it's so good that it might as well be the. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah.
But I don't
you-
get what's the big deal.
Okay, all right. So that's kind of where I was going with that, but I didn't want to like.
You
who
didn't want to
cares?
say it? No, I was just
No, bring it
like
up. That's-
why is it such a big deal? Like everyone knows what a human body is looking like, I think. And
I think-
it's the most probable way you should look, right? And chances are the databases they used are of a certain type of good-looking woman. So even if he's gonna deepfake me, it might be in my favor. You know?
I got
like
it.
that.
Yeah, that's an
You take
interesting.
it.
So
Okay.
with your argument, I think this is the reason why a lot of people are losing their shit over it. I think is more of an American thing, to be honest. Because
you mean
in
because
Europe,
you didn't have sex ed in high school and we did.
I mean, that's
Not
part of
necessarily.
it.
I mean, yeah, I guess. It's just more so like in Europe, they don't really care about the naked human body and
It's
just everyday life.
I mean, I just don't think it's the real issue.
yeah.
Because yeah, like, I mean, you're
It's a naked body. You've seen
it's a
them.
naked body,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's not even yours.
Yeah.
Right, it really isn't.
Hopefully,
I guess if you're 16 and you're in high school and someone does it to you,
Yeah,
and
there
then
could be legality issues with that.
but and that's my point. Like, it's the legal issue that's more of a problem. Is like, how do you prove it's fake, or how do you
Yeah.
prove it's real?
yeah.
What is truth? What is
Yeah.
not? But
Boy, that's an interesting question.
no, as in
So-
like it can be me being. I mean, not me, but like
right.
people being naked, girls in particular.
Sure.
But it could also be something else, like fake camera footage of you dealing drugs,
Yeah.
and
that's the
you- you-
concern. I
That's
think
and that's I
right.
think that's the real
drugs?
conversation. It's not like having naked women.
No, I mean, like, okay, you're right. So for the particular body issue, right? What's the big deal? Everybody knows the human body, right? But now, when we're talking about like getting you caught in the act where you weren't there, but it looks like you were there because, who wants to be seen on the corner dealing drugs? The illegal kind. It does have other implications, not necessarily of the body, whether it be body shaming or whatever, but actual, pinpointing you to something that goes against an alibi. Right? Say. Community Mike.
So this one kind of answers the why do people have an issue with it, and two kind of makes, I mean, in the end, it seems like most people at this table aren't a fan of it in one way or another. One of the big things it has done though is revenge porn has become like a pretty big issue. Which, if you don't know what it is, it's essentially after a heated breakup or any kind of breakup, your ex significant other decides to release intimate / compromising pictures, videos, etc.
Right.
onto the internet, which can have, like, it can cause issues. It can cause you from anything from small, like maybe
Yeah.
your friends don't talk to you. Maybe they don't need you. Don't
Maybe
need them
they
in your
talk
life.
to you more.
Maybe they talk to you more. But it can also lead to like
Hello there.
maybe you were a very public figure
Yeah.
who, because of this, you're not getting fired because of this, but they just so happen to have a position somewhere else that they feel you're much better suited for. And so part of the issue is like, now this is no longer, oh, well, they shouldn't have taken those photos. They shouldn't have taken those videos. It now becomes just anything.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to piss off the wrong person because you slighted them in the comment. And now all of a sudden you have your own personal...
And I mean, you could lose your career and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, the things that I think about the most where it could affect people if you had compromising or photos leaked online, or like, what was the one I was just? Oh, like there was a story I read a long time ago. It was a Disney princess who had she's a high up Disney princess there, and she's done the role for so long, but then she had compromising photos released of her, and Disney's like, well, you're getting too much attention now because of all this acts. And it's like, what happens then? She that was her career. She was a career cast member as a Disney princess.
Yeah, and I
pretty
know
fucked.
like California is pushing a bill to make deepfakes just simply illegal. However, they're gonna however they're gonna do that, but like
Yeah.
it does, because it is something like in the last decade, I would say probably started, but only in the last 5 years there has been more attention because there was no legal precedent. Like, someone could release without your permission, without your consent, these pictures and ruin your life, and all you could do is just be like, cool.
Yeah.
That's it. There was no legal. You couldn't take them anywhere. So that's
So-
one of the things that this is going to eventually probably help, especially with California trying to push this bill, because it probably won't go through. But there should at least now be more how to deal with laws and stuff on the books.
Yeah.
So we do have a comment here
Thank
in
you.
the live stream. Thank you, Community Mike. So in the live stream, there's a comment here that says, well, now at this point, any sort of revenge porn can just be argued as being fake, and so maybe there's a chance that you, as a victim, could get kind of lost in the weeds, right? Like, it's like, oh, all revenge porn is fake now, or you could at least assume it that way and maybe be safe. No, well, not safe, but I mean, maybe not get the consequence of, I don't know, losing your job, losing your friends. Maybe that's an argument around it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if your boss wants to fire you, just do it with your boss.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
If it works,
You know, it's worth a shot. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, yeah, if everyone is, if there's a lot of fakes coming out, because I can see that happening. Like, if a powerful enough person gets caught in this, then they'll be like, oh, well, it's obviously fake. And then everyone else, even if it's real, it can be like, no, it's fake. You know, they like basically like the commenter said. You know, if a lot of it is, if it's possible for it to be fake, it's going to be a lot easier to convince people. Oh yeah, no, that's not me.
Yeah. So this might actually work in people's favor, in a roundabout way.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I'm not excusing behavior, but
again, if I like, even if you take the 18-year-old thing out of the mix, I'm a 19-year-old girl, and suddenly there's naked pictures of me on the internet, even if it's me or not me. I'm sure that I would be looking at the situation significantly differently.
yeah. I'm not saying that I could empathize here, but
Yeah. So I don't know.
But
Just because of you're right that that in America we do treat sex and violence. We've kind of got those exactly backwards. You can watch a guy on primetime TV get his head cut off, but you can't see a girl with her shirt off. It's like, but
I guess it's not just like the U.S. It's just in general. Like, why not just say people do whatever they want with their
yeah,
life?
bingo.
because some people are prudish. Oh,
Oh,
here we go.
We have summoned him from his chair.
Boy,
We said enough to make him not lazy anymore.
So there's
Give me your mic.
there's a comment on the idea of it's going to be out there, so why should I even care? But the question becomes, what if somebody's using my likeliness to make money? Okay, so if I'm a celebrity and they're using my face now to push their agenda or whatever else, get donations, where am I getting my money? If I'm a content creator, if I'm doing
Totally.
advertising, if I'm talking about something and now somebody's just using my face to make money, how am I going to claim them? How am I
Yeah.
going to claim revenue from that?
What do you mean?
Like maybe they've taken a deep fake and used it for an advertisement that
Right.
you're not a part of, and so they're getting paid. Like let's say it's an agency.
Yeah.
They're getting paid, but you as the model, the actress, the person of interest is not getting paid for
Why not?
your likeness.
Because you
not?
didn't create
Because
it.
you didn't create it. The
Yeah,
other
somebody
person
else
used your likeness to
But
create
if it's my image, there's the
You
right
have-
to image, right?
Yeah, but the people, they still made it and they have made the money off it. Now you're gonna have to file a lawsuit against them.
Right.
But who knows if you're actually gonna get any of that money? But you were so famous, they're fucking not famous.
So there's
but
this,
they used your fame to make them buckets of cash.
Mhm.
That's
There's this
And
video.
you can't claim because it's your image.
They don't know yet.
no, they don't know.
There's
no
They-
law.
They,
No.
yeah, they were
there's no
never
law.
aware that this was going to happen. So
Yeah.
once they know, they're like, no, that's fucked up. You use that. That's like me. It's like I want to claim to your,
To your
whatever
revenue
whatever
stream.
buckets
you're
got.
making money off
Yeah,
of my
all the
face.
money that you're doing, and they're just like, nah. But
So-
it's like they did nothing for it except use your fame and image
Yeah.
Okay.
to benefit themselves.
So Corridor Digital, which is a very popular digital media company,
Yeah.
they're really great in graphic design and videography. And they did just recently a Tom Cruise deepfake, and they
Oh,
trained
yeah.
this model in about 3 days, which is about normal. And then they got this actor who plays as Tom Cruise, as a what is it, like a similar, like a stunt double.
yeah,
And then they just put his face on top of the video in post rendering, and it looked really good. Not
Like
perfect, but it
Cruise,
looked
yeah.
really
Yeah.
good. So then the same question applied, like, okay, how are you going to tell in the future? So what if Corridor Digital is making this money? They're not. They're ethical guys. But like, if they're making this money off of this revenue, where's Tom Cruise's money
Yeah.
from this? Because they're using his face.
But okay, maybe it's. I'm sorry.
No, you're
right,
fine.
But it's just, how is it different from memes being using all over the place and it's someone else's picture and suddenly everyone's-
the memes aren't making money.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a meme website,
Yeah.
I guess, that has ad revenue on it, and you could certainly make a claim to that if the largest amount of traffic being drawn to your site is because there's a picture of, Matthew McConaughey in a meme, and so Matthew McConaughey would be like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
And what-
On the topic of deep nudes, right? There are porn videos that are using celebrity faces
Right.
on the bodies of porn actresses.
Yeah.
So who's making money? Like even okay, like maybe the porn actress or the porn model doesn't is all for it, but the celebrity isn't.
Yeah.
is a celebrity going to make money off of that? Like, what if they claim that? If Taylor Swift is like, hey, I want money off of this person who's using my face
Yeah.
on top of this random woman,
Yeah.
you know, how are you going to make that
But
lawsuit?
I still don't see how this is an issue for deep fake and how it's not related to like image rights in general. Like if I do a Photoshop of
It's just
your
likeliness.
face
It's just
on-
likeliness, and
Yeah.
basically, so here's another argument that's not really using a money aspect of things. Do you know who Adam Scott is? He's an actor.
Okay.
He was in Parks and Recreation. He's
Okay.
a funny dude.
Which one is he?
What's his name?
I'll find a picture.
This is where we need Doxy. Oh wait, we got fact check. Yay, community mic.
So this is what he looks like.
Adam Scott plays Ben.
Oh, it's the it's Ben.
The
Okay.
wife, the
Oh, yeah.
husband of the
Yeah.
main
So
character.
yeah, so
Cool.
here's Adam Scott.
Thank you.
Okay.
He recently, and you could actually see the articles right here. There was Mitch McConnell, who's what the fuck? He's
He's
speaker.
the speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Or no,
No,
sorry,
that's
Senate
Lewis.
majority.
Yeah, he's Senate majority leader. He made a commercial or like a ad or like a
No, it's just a Twitter post.
like just a
still.
Twitter
Yeah.
post, but it was using Adam Scott's a GIF of Adam Scott. And so Adam Scott tweeted and said, "Don't ever use my image in this way." It wasn't for money or anything, but Adam Scott's likeness attributed to Mitch McConnell's agenda in some way, and Adam Scott's like, "No, I don't support you, so get that shit off of there. Don't ever use this again." Same thing happened recently with Ozzy Osbourne and the Crazy Train song.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like it's a problem that is related to like image control and image
Yeah.
rights,
Right.
and not being able to make deep fakes with neural networks.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not the issue with machine learning and how that's all.
Yeah.
in it.
It's in
what-
general, how do you
Yeah.
own
How do you protect your
image?
Yeah,
And
that's the issue.
And it's not. There's arguments about, well, just like let it subside, it'll go away. You can't, because if you don't actually make claim to your trademark or your patent or whatever, you lose it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like if you just like ignore the fact that everybody's using your image, one day it's gonna hit
Yeah.
such a threshold that there's nothing you can do about it.
And what if you used biometrics and you could prove that this face used on this thing is meant to look like me or is me? And then you can claim
Well, I think.
Well, see, the problem,
like,
especially
it's my identity.
Yeah,
so
especially if we're talking like in a porn setting, that company can be like,
we keep
oops.
coming back to porn.
Well,
it's
but-
really
but-
weird, guys.
I mean, that's
Fair
where
enough.
it's really being used though,
Yeah,
right now.
But
Right
in,
now.
But in that kind of setting, the company can just close up shop and be like, "Oh nope, we closed our business. We're no longer a business. See you later. Bye,"
Yeah.
and just take the fucking money. So I mean,
Is there a way to scrape constantly the internet looking for my face and see who's
I'm
using
sure
it?
that is definitely being
Probably like reverse image search.
done in
like
a
he's
way.
he's got
Boticize.
Raspberry Pi working on it.
Yeah.
Roboticize it. All right, community mic.
So here's the thing. I mean, when you train a neural network, most of all the images that you cache are on an offline storage. So it's not going to be like somewhere in a GitHub repo somewhere.
Right.
It might be in like a S3 storage bucket, and you're hosting it on like AWS's cloud
Right.
infrastructure and like drawing it from there, so you can train it constantly. But no, what you could do, however, is like a FOIA, FOIA, right?
Oh, FOIA request.
FOIA, thank you, Freedom of Information Act request to say, hey, like I want to know how you're training your neural network. Like, what are the actual terabytes of images that you're using? If my image is in there, now I can search that and say, okay, yeah, you're using my face. Now I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
But
You have to take those appropriate
you
steps.
have to take
and
those
it's a
appropriate
lot of
steps.
paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork, and
Yeah.
you better lawyer up, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go against a nation state, especially.
Mm.
Because they got really annoying lawyers, while your guy from down the street is just like, I can't do that. I can't compete with that shit.
We have a comment in the live stream saying that so many things that Lex has covered or Lex has had an opinion of would be
I love
covered.
cheese.
she
I
does
like
love
you.
cheese.
Would be covered in the GDPR.
Better than the last
So-
guy.
What's the GDPR?
The GDPR. Oh god, what the hell's the acronym? Why am I?
General Data Protection Regulation.
General Data Protection Regulation. It's an EU policy, or is that
it's-
policy or law?
EU, like
Law.
European Union?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my people. Okay.
Yeah, your people.
For once, we're doing things right.
Oh, awesome! All right.
Until Brexit.
I don't care. I'm not part of this.
See, exactly. She's not British.
I'm not.
Why would she care? All right. So, any further opinion on this? I think we know it's an issue. But like we said, the issue isn't with the machine learning per se. It's with the result. It's with what it's being used for, what the end product is being used for. And I think that's...
Well, I mean, that is becoming a thing more and more. I mean, you take Carrie Fisher in the Star Wars movies. You know, who gets the money from her being in the movie? You know, in the next Star Wars movie, who's going to get the money for Princess Leia?
Does she have an estate?
Actor. I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
But is that going to be the law? You know, does it always go to your estate if you die? And if she didn't have an estate, what would happen then? You know?
Well, if she wrote let's say her manager wrote the contract properly, then yeah, it would stay in her estate, or it would stay to her beneficiary or whatever. That's a legal thing.
Have you seen Hunger Games?
Yes.
I think there was one of the guy in the cast that died before the last movie was released.
Yeah, it was,
and so they had to CGI his face.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Who got the money?
He had a estate as well.
See?
Typically, after a certain age, you have a lot of people coming after you to make sure
You're dead.
make sure that you're dead. No, they want to make sure that you do have an estate in place, because they'll also, if they're writing the estate, they might get like a percentage cut from your estate. So it is highly unlikely that you'll reach an age in your life like these specific people we're talking about, like Princess Leia and the dude in the Hunger Games, where I can't remember his name, even though I literally just watched it this weekend. They will have an estate. For example, the what was his name? I can't remember his name, but he was in Star Trek, and he was killed.
Yeah.
A motorbike guy, Russian guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. So he met an untimely death. He may not have had an estate because he was still an up and coming actor. So who knows where all those royalties for him are going? That might be an example of that. But
Wait, was this the new Star Wars with the Russian guy?
yeah,
Oh shit, he died?
you didn't know he died?
No, I didn't
A
know.
long time ago.
Spoilers.
Like
Yeah.
2 years ago. No?
Yeah, like
he-
2 years
Real
ago.
life spoilers?
Yeah,
Like,
he got crushed by his Hummer.
really?
Jeep.
Oh fuck,
Jeep.
I didn't know that.
It was
This
yeah.
guy played Chekhov.
Yeah.
he played
Oh,
Chekhov,
I didn't know he died though.
Yeah, it was a very horrible death.
Ugh.
Yeah, the small
Star
guy.
Trek.
Yeah,
not
Star.
Wars.
Did I say Star Wars?
I said Star. Oh, fuck, my
Yeah.
bad. Sorry.
Fucker.
My fault. Damn.
But yeah, so
Leave the
yeah,
room. You're out.
he was just at his like house or whatever, and his vehicle something happened,
Damn,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
got
There
pressed.
was a fault, and I can't remember if it was a Wrangler or what kind of Jeep it
Yeah.
was.
But
But the parking brake basically let go.
yeah, and
Just
it basically
spontaneously.
he was getting his mail or whatever at his security gate, and it crushed him, and he
Man.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Damn, that sucks.
Yep, really unfortunate. Sorry to bring that all down hill. But he may not have had a mistake.
Tragedy.
Yeah, downhill.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
Jeep.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, just keep piling on. Oh, here we go. Another
One more
Oh,
thing.
wait, really quick. Before you go
Go,
with your
go
community mic, we have a fact check from your last time coming up. FOIA requests are only in regards to government. You can't do that against a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry. I work with the government.
Right.
That's,
Okay, so there's that.
That's why. It's,
Anyway, community mic.
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They used AI on the last movie.
They
Yeah.
did.
They got his
almost the entire. They got his brother.
Yeah, they got his brother to do the
I was
standing
just
'cause he
on
was, like,
topic on
very
mistakes.
similar.
Bring the mood back up a little bit, you know, because Fast and
I
Furious.
mean, he's still dead.
Yeah, that's someone else that died.
But I'm just saying, like they were using AI for good.
movie made a lot of people cry.
Yeah,
Think-
AI for good. There you go.
Thank
Things
you.
got a little down here, but hey, 9/11, right?
What I'm saying is that they used his
Yeah.
likeliness and
Yeah.
trained a model and used his brother as like the standing figure,
Yeah.
pasted his face on. Like a lot of like the really close-up scenes, like you'll see him like staring off into the car, was like from like Fast and Furious 3 or something, and
Yeah.
they just repurposed that.
Yeah,
that
they
footage.
just reused a
and it was
ton of his
awesome. I was like, I
imagery.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
And it was a great movie. And yeah, I cried. So what? It's great.
Not like beginning of Up cry.
No.
That's
I didn't cry.
You didn't cry.
Didn't shed a tear.
You're a goddamn liar.
I'm tough. I'm tough.
No, that
I've
is a
still-
lie.
She's like,
That is a lie.
I didn't cry.
I said
And it's like an ugly face cry where like they're
No.
sniffling and stuff. Like,
No.
I didn't cry.
I
that is a
want
lie.
I need to watch this movie now just to
You've
see.
never seen the
You
fucking
never
movie?
seen it?
I've never seen Up. No.
Come on.
Yeah, it's
No,
really
you know,
good.
for all the shit that I get for not
Yeah.
watching anything, like you haven't watched a lot of shit either.
I
Why
think
don't you get more shit?
I think it was one of.
Yes.
It was the first
At least I
Disney
finished my
with
shows.
3D. I think that's why it was so popular. So there was Up, and then there was Avatar, and there were the two big movies that had 3D in cinemas.
Interesting.
You might be right.
I think I'm right.
I'll go along with
I
it.
think I'm.
All right,
right
guys.
Very often.
Is it time for the lightning round?
Can I talk about one small thing?
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
ahead.
Do it.
SpaceX.
Oh,
So,
shit, yeah.
about a month ago, they launched. This is just an update to something small we talked about. About a month ago, they launched their 60 satellites up into lower orbit for like doing the internet beaming all over the planet-wide internet. They updated us on what's been going on with that. 3 of them they lost complete communication with.
Oops.
So it's just out there.
So they're just in lower orbit, trailing. They'll eventually, fall down into the atmosphere and hopefully not kill anybody. They'll just burn
Another actor.
up.
Is it flying over California right now?
But yeah, so there was those 3. 57 are in communication. They're doing fine. They're doing whatever. I think 45 of them have finished their orbiting or finished their destination orbit, so they are now
Like locked
at
into
their
position,
final
right.
area. Then there was like another 5 that are still building up to that, but there's 2 others that they're going to intentionally dive into the planet because they want to test the deorbiting safety measures that they had in place, and so technically only about 55 are going to.
So what's the purpose of these satellites?
They're the internet beaming planetary wide.
Oh, so it's gonna be like a global, literally global internet.
Yeah.
So you could be in the middle of the Amazon and
Yeah.
still get Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy? That's fucking crazy.
Sup?
Community Mike.
So I just had a quick question. Are these stationaries and they stay relatively in the same position, or do they follow?
No,
They're gonna stay. So like
no, they're orbiting at all times.
so
Yeah.
it's
They're
gonna
all-
be like
they're
this
all
satellite is for
interlinked
this
with each other.
area.
And no, it's not just gonna be these 60. He's putting like 1,200 or 12,000.
But didn't
Yeah,
they say
12,000.
Isn't it gonna be a
12,000?
problem for scientists? Isn't it?
No,
when
it's
I
going to be a
read-
huge problem because now there's going to be a lot of lower orbit debris, and they're going to have a much smaller window at which they could launch other rockets because
Also,
If
Or
they
the
accidentally-
trash that we send
but
up
like,
there.
well, the trash is a huge issue up in space.
And whose authorization do you need to just start launching shit around the
I don't think
the Earth?
anybody's.
Yeah, FCC, but they're on board. I mean, they.
Yeah,
let
it's
him-
not like they give a shit.
He's the only one bringing shit up and down so far for the US, so they're like,
Also,
do it.
I think this messes with astronomers that are
No,
terrestrial
they're-
astronomers.
yeah,
like they
they're-
can't really.
Yeah,
see.
they're going to get orbital debris, whether the debris is classified as trash or it is actually, just another satellite. But it's definitely going to fuck up with their imaging, because just to think about what's been, fixated on a specific part of the universe for, let's say, a decade, because it's taking in a lot of images. But now there's going to be a bunch more shit flying in between it. It might screw things up.
Community Mike.
Just a quick fact check. It's FAA controls launches, not the FCC.
Oh yeah,
Spectrum.
yeah.
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 But thank goodness right now we've got good solid government regulations in place
Yeah.
to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
But we look at
now-
cheap internet.
We'll get cheap
Now-
internet though. Yeah.
It is.
So wait. When is I don't know why. But when is when are they supposed to start actually having internet?
I do not
available?
know that.
It's in the previous article.
Because I
Is
want
it?
my space internet.
Yeah, that's something we might have to bring up next week. If
All right.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that.
Let's do that.
Because now it is time for the lightning round. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Who's gonna go first?
I guess
Not me. I don't know what.
Okay, so Xenify's going to go first. Now, the way that this works, the lightning round, for those of you who do not know, we're going to go to the Hacker News for now, thehackernews.com, and we're going to give our tweet's length of an opinion on these headlines. We want to tell you kind of like where you could probably find decently worded articles, but we don't want to tell you exactly how to think. So you go, you do your own research, you come up with your own opinion. We're just talking heads. Anyway,
What?
exactly. All right, Xenify, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, remember, tweets length of an opinion. Wait, let me make sure I'm at the top. All right, exclusive! German police raid OmniRat developers and seize digital assets.
We probably did something wrong to cause a raid, and the raid happened, and it was successful. It says.
Opinion, if not?
I don't understand the title.
Police raid on hackers.
Oh, I mean.
That's her tweet.
it-
The tweet is just question mark.
And then there's a GIF, but you can't see it.
Yeah. Now we need to put GIFs involved. It's called GIF, by the way.
No, actually, she was right. It is GIF.
Okay,
Thank
say
you.
say giraffical.
Say giraffe.
We're not starting this.
Graph.
No, the animal.
The animal.
Oh,
Giraffe.
okay, but the word, the GIF is from graphical, right?
But the
Yeah, but
the person.
do you say
No, I thought the
JPEG or
person
do you
said
say
it was GIF.
Yeah.
JPEG?
Okay,
Make your own fucking format then.
There's
the
the
guy who
debate.
made it said GIF.
There's the debate.
All right.
All right, next one. Here we go. 2 Florida cities paid $1.1 million to ransomware hackers this month.
And that is why ransomware is still a thing.
I thought you should never pay.
Yeah, that's why that's why it's
You
still a
should
thing.
never pay.
You should never pay.
There are
and
people who pay.
It might eventually die out.
And they're in government.
Unlikely, but
Why did they pay?
I don't know.
Because they didn't back their
yeah,
shit
they
up.
didn't
and
have
that was the only
backups,
place they
and
had it.
they were rolling the dice. Because not a lot of times you don't get your shit back. You just
Yeah.
pay them, and it's just
I mean,
like,
if
eh.
I was about, I mean, I'm not gonna do it.
Mhm.
But if
as she commits or as she admits to committing crime on the.
but if I
video.
were to do it, like what? Why? Like I would just grab the money and I have no obligation to actually give the thing back.
So you kind of do, in that if you don't release it, then for future people won't pay. So you have to provide.
So you want to
them
keep your
some-
customers happy.
Okay, but
Actually,
okay.
yeah.
But maybe in the future we can do it in smart contract, where like a smart contract where you're obligated to jump into. But
I think that's called protection rackets.
Yeah, the mafia does it. All right, next article.
Oh,
Let's
we
see.
yeah.
It's a quick comment on that though.
That's
Tweet's
fine.
length.
The reason you want to pay is because otherwise the other ransomware makers will go after you. There's literally wars between those who don't not
Not
there's
pay up
yeah
to the
not
ones
fix.
that do pay.
There's wars between
That's
those
interesting.
fake ransomware and actual ransomware.
Like
for
game
this
turf
reason.
wars, dude.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. All right, guys, next article. Here we go. Let's see. Account takeover vulnerability found in popular EA games Origin platform. You guys might know more about this than I do.
I fucking hate Origin. So yeah.
Video games getting hacked.
Sadly, Apex Legends got their contract set there, and they were really popular for a couple months.
Yeah, a new virus has infected people's computers. It's called the EA Origins fucking game store. Because
Yeah.
fuck them. And what they did to SimCity, I will never forget.
yeah.
All right, guys, next article.
Tell you later.
Legit apps turn into spyware targeting Android's users in the Middle East.
Didn't we just have an article like 2 weeks ago about another Android app that was being spyware, spying on
Yeah, that was for the Spanish soccer.
No, football games.
Sorry, football. Yeah, it was Spanish football games.
Yeah.
So, Lex, you weren't here for that, but basically, they turned the phones into spying devices to find out which bar was using pirated streams of the game.
Or just streams in general at which they didn't license. So like Buffalo Wild Wings, for example, has to license the UFC show because there's 150 people there watching it. They want a piece of that cake that they're getting. So
That sweet football
sweet
cake.
sweet lava cake.
Football cake. All right, guys, we have 3 more. Let's
No,
do
let's
this.
just do one more.
Okay, oh my God, fine, one more. All right, Microsoft adds 2FA protected personal vault within OneDrive cloud storage.
I mean, you could already 2-factor auth your fucking Office 365 account. I mean, I guess you're just going another step in to encryption. I
You
don't
have
know.
2 2FA.
Yeah.
You have 2 2FA. 22 FA.
Would that be a total of 4 FA?
I was thinking about that, but I don't think the math checks out.
Oh yeah. Do you want to?
You have to
announce
sign in
something?
like 4 times.
Let him announce something.
All right, announcement from Community Mike.
No, about that article.
Oh, okay.
specifically.
okay.
Which one?
That one, that 2-factor authentication was not for generic users. It was for people who manage cloud deployment services. So, say like an Azure reseller, who has access to anyone they'll have access to the instances of anyone they resell Azure instances to. They are now, every single one of those accounts are required to have 2FA. Because if you compromise them, you could compromise hundreds of customers.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what that was.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you so much for
That
that.
makes a
fact check.
lot
That's
more
interesting.
sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
I was like, why are you just adding double layers? You're not fucking
No, that right there makes sense, though.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. All right, guys. Well, that does bring us to the end of the lightning round, which brings us to the end of the show. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but never out of shit to say, as you can tell. So join us again next week, like every Friday night, 7:30 p.m., where you will be doing more of this stuff. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Remember to go to synshop.org for information on us as a hackerspace. Go to meetup.com/synshop for information on events, classes, and things that we have going on. Happy Pi Day. We never explained that. It's June 28th, so that's like double pi, right? 3.14 times 2. Boom. Damn. That was quick. Anyway.
That makes sense.
And for information on us as a podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. My name is Master Chen.
This is Zenfi.
I'm Lex.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
Good night, everybody.